I mean, it's kind of a necessity right now. Just kind of see where our vibe is as a group and see how we can, flip the switch and.
If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it.
It'll make it break us as far as like where our energy is and where we're headed. This win will be really good for us. And
Kelsey Mitchell just proved Sheryl Swoopes dead wrong. While Swoopes was busy saying the Fever didn't recognize Mitchell's talent, guess what? Mitchell was out there setting career records and becoming a fan favorite. Talk about a mic drop moment, but that's not even the craziest part. Mitchell's success isn't just about putting up big numbers. She's changing the game in ways that don't always show up on the stat sheet. Stick around to see how this underdog is schooling a legend on what really matters in modern basketball. Know what's crazy? Sheryl Swoopes just revealed shocking information regarding Kelsey Mitchell. She claims that Mitchell wasn't given enough credit by the Fever. Do you think that's possible? Swoopes seems to be watching an entirely different season. Let's dissect this. This year, Mitchell has been on fire. We're discussing career highs all over the place. Did she score? Through the roof. What was her shooting percentage? Out of the charts. It's as if Mitchell discovered a basketball cheat code and kept it a secret from Swoopes. What is Swoopes thinking then? Are the games she watches the same as ours? Because Mitchell has been hard to overlook from where I sit. Like it's her own playground, she has been illuminating the scoreboard. Do you want figures? I have numbers. Mitchell scores more than 18 points a game on average. That is elite, not simply good. And how effective is she? She seems to be participating in a different sport. She's making about 45% of her field goals. For a guard who takes as many shots as she does, that is crazy. What's even stranger though? Mitchell was completely unstoppable for 10 games in a row. She was playing like one of the WNBA's top shooting guards. Defenders were unable to harm her. It was similar to watching a live highlight reel. The bottom line is that Swoopes is completely off base. Mitchell is receiving more affection than ever before, in addition to fame. Her name is being chanted by fans. Each time she touches the ball, social media goes crazy. Her is the focal point of the Fever's entire strategy. But what do you know? This is only the beginning of the story. Mitchell is altering the entire game with his actions on the court. I'm not just referring to her scoring, however. Swoopes isn't recognizing the full extent of her play. It's as though everyone else is playing checkers and Mitchell is playing chess. When basketball was all about who possessed the ball, do you recall?
You just got done with shoot around. What are your thoughts on tonight?
It's a make or break moment for us. First 5 games were out the way. We're 0-5, got a donut.
If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it.
And I think for us, the West Coast is not easy. We're playing really great teams on this side of town. So I think for us,
Mitchell is reversing that notion. Without even coming into contact with the rock, she is frightening defenses. She seems to be participating in a completely other sport outside. What's the most absurd aspect? Her teammates are taking it all in stride. Let's discuss the things that Swoopes is lacking. Mitchell's scoring isn't the only factor anymore. She has a secret weapon that is completely altering the Fever's strategy. Imagine this. Mitchell moves like a pro when he doesn't have the ball. She is trimming, repositioning, and spotting up. Seeing someone who is constantly 3 moves ahead of everyone else on the court is like seeing a chess master at work. Know what's crazy? Defenders are unable to stay up. Finding holes in the defense that no one else even notices, Mitchell is constantly 1 step ahead. She seems to know exactly where she should be on the court. And when she arrives at that location, whoa. Before the defense even realizes what hit them, she has the ball and 2 points. This is when things start to get really wild though. Mitchell's shooting percentages skyrocket when her off-ball game is on point. We're talking about elites, not simply good. She turns into one of the league's most effective guards. She seems to have discovered a basketball cheat code. What's the best part, you ask? Mitchell isn't the only person benefiting from this. The entire Fever team is improving as a result. Everyone else can use the court when Mitchell is moving in this way. Players like Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark are suddenly receiving a lot of attention. Mitchell seems to have a magnetic pull of her own, drawing defenders away from her teammates. The truth is that Mitchell's off-ball mobility is more than just a pleasant extra. It is now essential to the Fever's entire offensive strategy. ISO ball is no longer the focus. It involves movement, collaboration, and identifying the open player. Mitchell, too? The focal point of it all is her. You believed Mitchell was simply altering her strategy? That's adorable. Around her, the Fever are radically reimagining basketball. Imagine a team that uses their top player as a weapon with every move rather than merely depending on her. Indiana is experiencing it, and it has the potential to completely upend the WNBA. Let's discuss how Mitchell's abilities are being used by the Fever. It's truly brilliant. Some teams simply pass the ball to their hero and hope for the best, you know? The Fever, no. Their entire offensive strategy is based on Mitchell's advantages. They seem to have figured out a video game cheat code. What's crazy is that Mitchell is much more dangerous when she doesn't have the ball. You would believe that in order to have an impact, a star player needs to hold the ball. False. By circling defenders, Mitchell's running gives her teammates room and opportunities. She appears to possess a map of the court that is hidden from everyone else. Her off-ball abilities are being used by the Fever to cause havoc for opposing teams. It's stunning to observe. Mitchell is moving quickly through the court, and the defenders are rushing to catch up with her. And guess what occurs when they're concentrating on her? Her teammates receive blank stares.
They don't make it break us as far as like where our energy is and where we're headed. This win will be really good for us.
But because there's a COVID year and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record.
I mean, it's kind of a necessity right now. You know, just kind of see where our vibe is as a group and see how we can, you know, flip the switch and, you know.
Mitchell seems to have an ability that improves everyone in her vicinity. Furthermore, Mitchell is no longer merely a scorer. Her court vision has significantly improved. She passes the ball back to teammates like Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark when she's not open. She seems to have developed into a well-rounded player who is more concerned with the team's success than her individual performance. What's crazy to you? Mitchell isn't the only one benefiting from this tactic. It's improving the team's overall flow. With players moving all the time and the ball whizzing around the court, the Fever's offense appears to be unstoppable. They seem to have figured out the modern basketball code. The truth is that Mitchell is not being disrespected by the Fever. They're making the most of her influence in a completely different way. While evaluating her abilities, they ask themselves, how can we use this to make our entire team better? And they've worked it out, boy. Do you recall when it was said that a single player couldn't switch teams? Kelsey Mitchell just disproved their claims. The Fever are changing more quickly than anyone anticipated, and you won't believe how much of an impact each player is experiencing. Let's discuss how Mitchell's performance is revolutionizing the Fever. Do you know how a single superstar can inspire a whole team? That's Mitchell at this moment. She is improving everyone around her in addition to playing well. She seems to exude a mystical basketball aura that permeates the entire court. The odd aspect is that Mitchell is giving everyone else space on the court with his off-ball movement. She seems to have a magnetic attraction on defenders. They are clinging to her like glue because they are afraid to leave her exposed. And when they do it, you know what happens? Wide open looks are being given to players like Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. Mitchell's teammates seem to be enjoying her playing decoy. But what's even more bizarre, Mitchell's game is changing in front of our very eyes. She is no longer only interested in her own shot. Better passing and more astute decision-making are being observed. Her basketball talents seem to have reached a new level. Imagine a player who can score goals whenever they want to start making plays as well. The rest of the league finds Mitchell's current situation alarming. Look at this. Mitchell is making some crazy plays as a result of his improved court vision. She is giving her teammates opportunities that did not previously exist. It seems as though she has eyeballs at the back of her skull. She may break past the defense 1 second and then pass to a teammate who is wide open the next. The offense of the Fever appears to be more dynamic and unexpected than before. The truth is that Mitchell is now more than just a scorer. She is now the focal point of the Fever's attack. Even when she doesn't hold the ball, she is the center of attention. It's similar to watching an orchestra under the direction of a great conductor. The entire team reacts when Mitchell moves. Are you curious about what's truly insane? this is only the start. Mitchell is at the heart of the unique thing the Fever are creating here. This team is growing, therefore the other WNBA teams had best take note.